Hey, what's up, Book Booze and Bays? Really quickly, I want to add my 2 cents to this conversation about America being a post-literary society. And I'm sorry, not typically a conspiracy theorist by any means, but I want to say a couple things really quickly. One, I, as a lifelong reader, feel like this is the most in vogue reading has ever been in my lifetime. Of course, there's always been people reading, there's always been conversations about it, there's always been book clubs and things of that nature, but I feel like we are way more aware of who all, say hi, Bronx, because you clearly want to be in the video. We are way more aware of who the readers are, what they're reading, and all the things than I feel like we've ever been in my lifetime, being 50 years old, so that's a substantial chunk of time, right? So that's number one. I know social media is playing a part in that, right? We have Book Talk, we have Bookstagram, YouTube, all these ways in which we can now communicate what we're reading, our thoughts on what we are reading, and so on and so forth. So that's one thing I want to say. I feel like we're way more aware now of who the readers are, who all is reading, and so many people are saying they're new to reading or they're getting back into it and all these things. I am a scholar, I'm a researcher, right, professionally, and so data matters. So I don't want to speak on the actual rates of literacy when I haven't had a chance to get into the data around it. So everything I'm saying is definitely anecdotal. But I also want to point out, this is a capitalist nation, and the trends and public discourse and all of the things go wherever the money resides. And right now there's so much money in reading. You can't walk into a store, Kohl's, Kirkland's, TJ Maxx, Marshall's, Walmart, Michael's. Like, there's no store I feel like you can walk into right now that you can't find some sort of bookish related merchandise. Why is that? Because it's hot right now. Everybody's into it, and everybody, of course, generally speaking and loosely speaking, not everyone is ever going to be a reader, of course, but people are investing in it and making these products available because why? Folks are into it. The popularity is through the roof right now. Let's think about how many festivals around reading have launched in the last few years and the attendance rates, and even what they're able to charge for admission to these things. Like, it's a big deal. I mean, listen, I like to do audiobooks in addition to reading books. That Libby list tells no lies. Like, it be a weight out here. And that's like real. Also, I think that this is propaganda because we have these book bans going on. And one thing that this capitalist society does not like, people making a way outside of the norm. How many people are now able to eat and live and secure themselves financially by way of books? They don't like that. All of these book talkers and these new authors coming about, finding a way to have their needs met without having to toe the line and be a part of the system, being a cog, having to be at work from 9 to 5 and whatever. They don't like that. So I also do believe that it's like, let's push this narrative out here that, reading is not a thing anymore. And, but now I'm going to also say this, though. We need to be careful about these kids. See, I think the older folks are okay because we were actually being taught critical thinking skills and drawing conclusions and phonics and using context to figure out words. And all. Like, we were learning things that I am not sure are happening in these schools anymore. From the outside looking in, it looks like a lot of these schools are teaching students how to test because that secures the funding or whatever, and the debacle that is No Child Left Behind and all of that. So I think that is a conversation to be had. What is the state of public education in America? And then also questioning the funding of public education in America, because it will never make sense to me that it is primarily based on the home values in the neighborhood as to the quality of education that kids receive, because we're basically saying we're going to punish kids for being born in poverty, being born poor, instead of trying to give every kid an opportunity to receive a quality education and potentially put them on this trajectory of upward mobility where they don't have to remain poor. So anyway, I think all this stuff is tied. Like, last night when I was having this conversation with my husband, honey, I went all the way into the trad wives and how all that plays into this, right? So with that, I say, if you are a reader, keep reading, keep encouraging others to read. If there are children in your life, encourage them, introduce them, buy them fun books. It doesn't matter what you're reading. You don't have to be reading the most serious, most difficult reads and whatever. You just need them to be reading. I remember when my boys were young, every other Thursday we would walk to the local library, and they always had additional book reports they had to complete for me on top of whatever coursework they had in their traditional school setting or what have you. And so if by chance we actually are in or entering a post-literary society, we definitely need to push back against that. But I just want people to think about, like, why now? Why this message? Because a less evolved, less informed electorate is more easily controlled. So just be mindful, and let's not get into an uproar and feed into whatever the point of this, what I have decided is propaganda is, and let's just keep doing what we're doing and maybe a little bit more, because Rita is having a moment right now, and no one will convince me otherwise. It's like literally being looked at as one of the sexiest things you can be doing. I can't go to a bookstore and that thing ain't popping. Went to a library tour 2 weeks ago, actually. No, wait. This thing is moving. That was just last Saturday. Went to an architectural tour, and they were like, oh my God, this is such a large tour. It's over 30 of y'all. Let's figure out how we're going to make this work. That's abnormal for them. And there was another tour when ours was wrapping up that had about 15 people in it. So all I'm saying is be mindful of who's giving the message, what the message is, and what's not being said in the message, and what the point of the message is. So question everything, push back on everything, do your own research. But anyway, again, you just keep reading, keep living your best life. And with that, I bid you adieu. Stay informed, stay safe, and I will catch you later. Bye.